Okay, this is Justin back to now do manga and figurines, probably in the same video because I don't have as much of those as anime pretty much. Now, I've had to get clever with space, so a bunch of my stuff is kind of collected and organized in different boxes. I've got some in here, and then a bunch of scattered ones in this other tote right here. So, let's start digging in. Okay, moved one box to the bed right here. Topmost one. Now, what's in here is, if I could keep the flaps open, here we go. Volumes 1 through 15, the entirety of the manga for Gunslinger Girl. Safe to say, I started collecting this after first seeing the anime. Started off with the first 6, seeing them randomly in a Barnes & Noble, and then I just collected from there. I've finished up to here, so I still have this stuff still to read. It's pretty good overall, and yeah, I should be getting to more of this someday, especially since I have practically a free summer off. Okay, second big-ass right stuff box moved to the bed. Alright, give me this one. Looking it all up, keep the flaps back. Alright, relatively in order. Also backwards. And even with these backwards. Oh man, already just... Okay, here we go. This right here is the Azuma box, as I'm calling it, because it's got a bunch of stuff made by Kiyohiko Azuma. He kind of happens to be a favorite author, as it turns out. Starting off with the whole entirety of Azumanga Daioh, the manga. And before that, I was a fan of the anime, Azumanga Daioh, the animation. This is pretty much responsible for, I'm pretty sure, my whole sort of affinity for slice of life. This is one of my favorite anime of all time, pretty much. Not quite Cowboy Bebop level, but kind of up there. And then after that, we have what has been currently released in English of Yotsuba and 1 through 12. And this is basically my favorite manga. And also blows Azumanga Daioh out of the water. This is definitely better. I got Azumanga Daioh anime first. Then I started collecting Yotsuba, and then I got Azumanga Daioh. And I've loved pretty much all of this so much that I've rebought 1 through 9, because thanks to various things like being lost to history and being vandalized, a lot of this ended up being all nice and drawn over. So I've rebought all of this and this. These are relatively new enough to be untouched. So, yeah. Little extra space whenever they have more volumes released. It's ready for them. And, yeah. Pretty good stuff. Oh, yeah. I'd also just like to point out how Gunslinger Girl and Azumanga Daioh and Yotsuba and they are all in the same magazine in Japan. They have all either been serialized and are currently serialized in Dengeki Daioh, and the fact that these two have kind of coexisted for at least a little period of time, I don't know, that's kind of really funny, actually. Okay, my tote of books is now out, and the rest of the manga are in here, so now it is time to find them all and plop them on the bed. Okay, if my eyes are not deceiving me, I don't think they are. There was nothing else as far as I could see in this box. But when you don't count any of the Gunslinging Girls or anything by Azuma, this represents my entire collection. It is kind of tiny. I've been a lot more of an anime fan than a manga fan, pretty much. So, yeah, I think the relative sizes of each reflects that. Let's dig in. But first, not a manga, but a reminder to myself that I really should be reading this over the summer. Alright, next up, let's go into these. 1 and 2. Gantz. I had at least a third volume, but that might have either gotten lost to history, or I might have left it in my home down in South Jersey. Not that I really need to necessarily collect it in order to enjoy it, considering it's like all online, and I've gotten up to like chapter 170, I think, last I read, so a little bit less than halfway of what there is in total. But you do kind of want to support the series that you really like, and Gantz is pretty damn good, both as a manga and an anime, so it is absolutely worth it. Alright, let's move on. Nightmare Inspector, Volume 2. I do not have a Volume 1. The story with this is that Borders, back when it was still a thing and about to go out of business, you take advantage of the ultra clearance sales, and this is one of the things that was there. Never heard of it before. There wasn't a Volume 1 available either. It didn't really matter. It seemed interesting, kind of like an anthology kind of setup, I guess supernatural kind of thing, and it was actually pretty interesting, and actually I should probably find some more of this if I can at some point. Don't even know if it is available anywhere else. So, actually, yeah, I guess it is. If this is still a thing, maybe I can get some more then. This is actually pretty interesting. Alright, let's move on. Full Metal Alchemist 2, and then 4, 5, and 6. And I think 1, 3, they might have been accidentally left down south as well, or just been lost in the grand shuffle of things. I still have a lot to go. I've not even read this yet. I got this like a couple of years ago. Life's an interesting thing, but it is pretty damn good. And I happen to really like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood thus far as well. And I should be getting actually the first half of that on Blu-ray pretty soon. Alright, let's move on. Cromartie High School, Volume 1. I believe... I actually got this at a convention. I saw it all randomly, and I was like, must get. Doesn't even matter that I can't really get any more, because this is when ADV had a manga division, and ADV isn't even around anymore, so I don't know if this is actually something I can get, but this is still a pretty worthwhile buy, pretty funny read, and yeah, happy with that. Okay, moving on to this stack. I think there's 2 more to go. Alright, first up, do I even have... The problem with this thing is that I can't tell if it's upside down or not because, like, I don't know. Okay, but here we are. Okay, not technically manga, I guess, in the purest sense, considering that it's American-made and published and all of that. But still, manga very much in style. Sacred, from Lisbeth Jimenez. Pretty cool story with this. It was a couple years ago, probably, 3 years ago or so, convention called Manga Next. The author of this, Lisbeth Jimenez, was there as a panel speaker, essentially, where she talked about a sort of a somewhat autobiographical kind of thing about, I guess, why she got into making manga, and then also a good bit into the issues and process of being a self-published author with this kind of stuff. And it was a really good talk, and also hearing it kind of convinced me, you know what, I'm going to buy this. In part because the concept seemed fairly interesting, even if it's not the first thing I would like really look for in a manga, and also just to basically kind of show my support, I guess you could say. And I still have to read the second volume. I've only gotten to the first one. It started off, I guess, somewhat average, I guess you could say, but it started getting really good near the end, and so it's something that, you know what, I've waited a bit too long. I need to start getting into reading this again, and I think there's also a third volume out, too, so I kind of have some catching up to do. So, yeah, this is some pretty good stuff. Alright, and last but not least, as far as I can tell, let me see, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fruits Basket. This is Sandra's favorite manga of all time. And I've trying to start multiple times to get fully reading this. Each time, for whatever reason, I can only like get through the first or second volumes. I have no clue why, just how it works out. But what I've read so far is pretty damn good. And yeah, I really need to take it upon myself to actually continue with this. She has the whole series, so whenever I get done with my own 4th volume, I might just like pop over to where she is and just read from her collection from there. Not that she'd mind. She's been getting on my case about reading this for a long, long time now. I need to eventually bite the bullet and do so. Okay, and that does it for the manga. Just one last thing. I have a couple of figurines that I still have some nice time to show off. I have them in here, so let's pull them out and, for the time being, display them around here. And here they all are. Pretty tiny. Maybe we'll get bigger as time goes on. Let's take a look, going from left to right. First off, Nendroid Miho Nishizumi from Girls on Panzer. Currently on her own, but near the end of summer, she should have a companion, a Yukari, to join her as well. Alright, going up to the left, Asuka. This is from Rebuild, so this is Asuka Langley Shikinami and not Soryu. And she dwarfs all of the other figures, as you can see right here. And moving on, also from Rebuild, but not quite as tall as the others, Rei. And then over here, Kagamine Rin, complete with a little sort of nameplate kind of thing. And then over here, 2 Fukas, the one in the back right here. This was sort of an older one. Got it first as a gift from Sandra, if I remember correctly. Unfortunately got lost because of the shuffle of moving around a bunch of things. College can kind of do that to you. Got it again, and now it's right here. And then sort of over here, another Fuka. This is a very new one, sort of a summer uniform kind of deal. And yeah, this is probably the prime figure right now, I guess if you want to put it that way. And that's everything that I have. And that should about do it for the whole first unboxing of things I already have. Thank you for watching. Justin, signing off.